Recently, didn't we, about how successful the British monarchy had in 2023, a good year for them, and finishing on a high with this particular documentary, all centred upon the fact that, of course, the coronation of King Charles III. I don't know if you've seen any clips of it online, but it was magical, and it was nice to get a ringside seat alongside that to see exactly what we didn't see on the day, because of course it was a day of, well, pomp and pageantry. Everybody loved it. Being here in London on that day was historical, whatever everybody thinks. Now, apparently, you see the BBC have received complaints about positivity regarding that particular documentary. Now, you couldn't make this sort of stuff up, could you? But apparently people are offended by the fact that people were so positive in that documentary, the response. What would they like? A darkened episode of the Addams Family, the Monsters? I mean, this was their story. The bottom line was, this was their story. What do you want to do? Just make it, well, terminally depressing? It appears so. Let me explain, though, what the BBC and why they're not planning to do anything in return. Good morning, how are you? Nice to see you. I'll have a wave today. Thank you so much as ever for joining me. You know, the problem with anything like this particular story, as I often say to you, it's about books, money, spend, whatever. You know, people need to make business. And the bottom line is the BBC are having a terrible time right now because, quite frankly, millions of people are refusing to pay their BBC TV licence. That's all thanks to the wokery that they keep on doing and the people that they keep on employing. You know, the ones that mock people literally in TV shows, whether it be former pre-Ms or, of course, former footballers like Gary Lineker, who's paid an extortionate amount of money, seemingly to front at least one show a week, all the while doing ads for crisps and all that sort of stuff outside the corporation. Who's worth that? Apparently, Tim Davie thinks that if he doesn't pay this money, then they'll leave. Where are they going to go? That's the question everybody wants to know. But it's interesting because when they do have a successful documentary, like, of course, the King's coronation, you would have thought that they would have put flags up and said, finally, we've got something wonderful. Yes, they got a lot of complaints, but let me tell you, the reason why the BBC will not be addressing this particular issue, and it's quite simple. It's nothing to do with doffing caps or anything like that. It's literally making money. Everybody, every territory, virtually over 200 so far, want to buy that documentary all about the King's coronation. That means big bucks for the BBC. They don't sell anything quite like that anymore. The next biggest seller will be something by Sir David Attenborough. Wildlife things do well for them, as you can imagine. Other than that, something like Strictly Come Dancing gets sold to many territories. It just proves how popular the monarchy truly is. But more importantly, not just that, but that's the reason why you can complain all you want. And 900 people out of what? 12 million and counting who watched that show on that night. Well, does it really matter? But more importantly, wouldn't it be nice if the BBC actually were to say in print, in public, we'd like to thank the monarchy for bringing in such big business, such big ratings, and finally for making money for the BBC. Those are the things that people would like to see, but of course, being the BBC, they never will. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.